Let's hijack a web session using cross-site scripting. This is the tale of two users and a website. On the right-hand side here is a very nice person called Susie, and she's minding her own business surfing the web. On the left-hand side is a not-so-nice person named Moo. He's a hacker using Kali Linux. Both Moo and Susie are going to connect to the website that is hosted by Metasploitable. They're each going to get their own session cookie. Obviously, they'll be different. Moo is going to steal Susie's session cookie so that he can log in as her, and he won't even need to know her username or password. There's a little bit we need to do in order to set ourselves up before we can really start. The first thing is to make sure that we have no previous cookies to the Metasploitable websites. Now, you might not have any at all. I do, because I've just been playing around. You're going to need to know this procedure to clear out the cookies so that you can start fresh in case you want to do this activity more than once. Let's start by getting Metasploitable's IP address. I'm going to log in as msfadmin and a password of msfadmin. Let me just type clear to get the prompt up to the top. Type ifconfig, enter. My Metasploitable has an IP address of 192.168.40.147. I can minimize Metasploitable, not close it because it's the web server, we need it to run, but I won't need to directly interact with it anymore. Let me minimize it. I'm keeping this IP address firmly in mind. Minimize. I'm going over to just a regular browser running on my host. It's not in a VM. This happens to be Edge on Windows 10, but you can use really any browser you want. I'm just going to make sure that there are no cookies associated with 192.168.40.147. Let me just come up to the upper right. Let me click Settings, go down to Settings, come over to the Settings menu, go to Cookies and Site Permissions. I'm going to manage and delete cookies and site data. Click that. I want to see all cookies and site data. Let me click that. And I'm looking for something with no domain name. Now, I realize some of these domain names are really weird. And they're probably because they're just sites that host content for other sites. I notice right up here at the top, I have cookies with no domain name. That's going to be Metasploitable. Let me just expand that. Sure enough, there it is right there. 192.168.40.147, 4 cookies. I'm deleting them right now. So I'll start fresh. Remove. Okay, they're gone. Going to do the same thing for Kali, but Kali has a really cool plugin that we're going to get. I'm logging in as Kali, and I'm going to start Firefox. And I'm going to get a plugin for Firefox. Going to come up to the app menu right over here on the right, click that. Going to go down to Add-ons and Themes, click that. Make sure plugins are selected and search for cookie, just like that. Press Enter. Scroll down, there's a really good cookie editor called Cookie Quick Manager. It's a really good one. Click that one. Add to Firefox. Add. Okay. Notice there is a cookie icon right here. Click the Cookie Manager and click Manage All Cookies. I want to see and get rid of any cookies that are in Firefox right now. At the moment, I only have 3. I don't have like a big long list. If you happen to have a big long list, get rid of them. You don't want to have any confusion here. Whatever is selected first, and here it is, just come down a little bit and click Remove the current cookie. Click the trash can. It goes away. See how it went away? The next one's highlighted. Remove that one. Then remove the last one and keep going until you show there are no cookies. All right, that's good. I'm going to close the cookie manager. I'll keep Firefox going. Now we're fresh, we're clean. Both users can go to Metasploitable with no previous cookies. We'll start with Moo, who's not so nice. And it doesn't really matter which one you start with, but I'm just starting with the hacker. I'm going to open the browser to Metasploitable's IP address. Press Enter. Here's Metasploitable. We are going to work in Mutilidae. Click Mutilidae. We're not logged in. We shouldn't be because we have no cookies. Our security level is 0. It should be set to 0. If it is not at 0, toggle the security until you are back to 0. Now, let's reset the database. We want to make sure that Mutilidae starts out brand new. Click Reset DB. You should get a pop-up saying there were no errors. If you have any errors, if it reports any errors, then restart Metasploitable and try again. If you still get errors, then something is corrupt and get a fresh copy of Metasploitable. Don't forget to edit the Mutilidae database name, just like we do when we set up the lab. I'll click OK. Making sure my security level is 0. Of course, I'm not logged in. Now, it's important for Moo, the hacker, to get at least one cookie from this site so he can simply replace it with Susie's cookie. Go over to Login Register. We don't have an account yet. Click Please Register here. And register Moo. Now, you can make up any name you like. I'm going to put in Moo with a password of password. No signature. Create account. Here's the important part. We want to use cookies only, no saved passwords. Don't save. Click Don't Save. Go back to Login Register and sign in as whoever you created. I created Moo with a password of password. Log in. Don't save. We can see we're logged in now as Moo and our security is still at 0. Now come over to Susie. Susie will now use her browser to go over to the Mutilidae website, 192.168.40.147. And here's Susie going to Mutilidae, whatever this site is for them, doesn't really matter. Susie's not logged in because she needs to register. Make sure Susie's security level is 0. Log in, register. Let's register Susie. Create some new user here, Susie, and Susie will have the same password. Password of password. Very secure. Create account. She's been created. Go back to login. Login as your new user. For me, it's Susie with the password of password. Login. 2 different users. 2 different browsers with different IPs and different session cookies. Now here's where the fun begins. Let's do some cross-site scripting. I have some code for us to use. Cross-site scripting almost always includes an element of social engineering. I don't want to get sidetracked by that aspect of it. We play with social engineering elsewhere in this course. Let's just say that Moo created a phishing email with a malicious link, and when Susie clicks it, it takes her to this site, and it pre-fills in some malicious code. Let's go to Susie, and let's just have some fun. You're logged in as Susie with a security level of 0. Susie goes to the OWASP top 10, and of course this is an old list here, but that doesn't matter. go to cross-site scripting, reflected, set background color. Click that. The functionality of this little page here is you put in red, green, blue format in hexadecimal whatever color you like. So the first two are for red, and the next two are for green, and the next two are for blue. And you can go from 00 to FF because it's in hexadecimal. You put in whatever you like, and when you click the Go button, so to speak, set background color, it changes it. So Susie's going to come over here and have some fun. She'll change it to solid red. She'll type in FF0000, which means all red, no green, no blue. Set background color. Ooh, that's hard to look at. All right, how about if she makes it all blue? And we'll just go 0000 FF for all blue. Set that. Still not nice to look at, but maybe a little better than the all red. And you can play around some more, so long as you put in 6 numbers in hexadecimal. Like we could go 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have no idea what that's going to give us. It gives us something icky. Okay, anyway, it's because the 4, 5 made the blue really heavy. What if we went like 1, 1, 4, 4, 3, 3? Just Susie's having a lot of fun. All right, whatever. She gets this phishing email from Moo. She clicks the link. It takes her to here. It pre-populates this with some malicious code. We'll start with the simplest of cross-site scripting. We're going to use a JavaScript. You can see the 2 script tags right here, opening and closing script tags. It is the alert function. So here's the function, alert. And then with most functions, you put in some kind of argument in parentheses. Our argument is just a text string that says, hey there, huh? Just copy this little line right here and paste it in. The nice thing about the PHP on this page is they didn't seem to put in any kind of input validation. They don't even seem to care how many characters you put in, and that's good for us. You can use the arrow keys, the left and right arrow keys on your keyboard. I'm hitting the left arrow key just to be sure that it's all here. Click Set Background Color, and there's the alert, the pop-up. It says, hey there. Okay. You could change this text to anything. Just make sure if it's a string that it's in quotes. It's not that brilliant, but it's the very most basic, simplest cross-site scripting code we can use. Let's get a little more interesting. Let's run an alert again, but this time let's use a feature where from the document we take the cookie and show it as the alert. Now this whole document here is dynamically created, this whole page. It's called a document, right? HTML document. We're going to grab the cookie from it and have it pop up. Let's copy this part here. Right click, copy, and paste it in. And again, you can use the arrow keys on your keyboard to make sure it's all there. Get the background color, go. Aha, this is more interesting. We have Susie as the username. Her user ID is 18. This is the name of the cookie right here, PHP sysID, and this is the value of the cookie. Cool. Click OK. Now, of course, Susie doesn't care about what her cookie is, right? But Moo does. Now we need a script that will tell this script, this little PHP app, to send that cookie information across the network over to Moo's Kali machine, where he can snatch it and use it. If you go down just a little farther, I've got slightly more complex scripting here. It's not very complex, though. Again, we're using JavaScript right here. You can see the opening and closing script tags. But instead of an alert, we're using location.href. So this reference, this hyperlink reference to http://Kali's IP address. And then we're going to pretend, even though we don't really have it, it doesn't matter, we're going to pretend that there is a web app waiting to consume whatever is sent over to it, Frankly, we could put in anything that looks legitimate. Here's the important part. Also include document.cookie. We need to know Kali's IP address. I'm just going to double check it. Let me come over to Kali. Let me just minimize this browser. Let me open a terminal. Let me ifconfig, press enter, scroll up. Kali's IP address is 192.168.40.129. Yours is different. I'm going to now set up a listener, because when this script over here for Susie makes a connection to Kali's IP and sends it the cookie, there'd better be something on Kali waiting and listening on port 80 to receive that info. And what better than our good friend Netcat? Let me just type clear and just make sure that you know Kali's IP address, right? Type clear, enter. We are going to use our old friend Netcat. We're going to tell it to listen, TAC L, in TAC V, verbose mode. We need verbose so that it will show all the content that comes up. Listen on TAC P port 80, TCP 80. Press enter. Netcat is listening on any of Kali's IP addresses to TCP 80 for any incoming session on TCP 80. All right, let it run, or let it just sit there and listen. Come over to Susie. Now again, Moo has sent Susie some kind of malicious link, something email, phishing email. She clicks the link and it pre-populates this with this. Let's right click, copy. Let's come over here. Let's paste it all in. I can use the arrow key to make sure it's all there. Yes, it is. This is why we needed to know Kali's IP address. We're going to tell this little PHP script right here to send the cookie over to here. Here we go. Watch this. Watch this. Watch the birdie. Set background color. Click. Boom! It came in. So where is it? Oh, here it is. Cookie equals username equals Susie. The user ID is 18. This %20 is just a space. The name of the cookie is PHP sysID, and here's the actual value of the cookie. Highlight just the value of the cookie. Right-click, copy the selection. You can minimize this, go over to Firefox. Now we're still logged in as Moo, that's fine. Go to the Cookie Manager, click the Cookie Manager. Search cookies for Metasploitable. Click that. You can see there's Moo's cookie. We need to edit this stuff. The name of the cookie is still PHP sysID, but the value of the cookie is different. Put in Susie's cookie value. Paste. Scroll down and make sure that you save. Now, change the username to Susie. Susie. Save. Change the user ID to 18. That's what Susie was. Of course, your values will be different. Put in whatever values you captured with Netcat. Save and make sure everything is correct. We're ready to go. Go back over to Moo's session. Now this is just old stuff. Refresh. Bam! He's in now as Susie. Score! Moo did it. He just stole and used Susie's cookie. Just imagine if Susie had put stuff in a shopping cart, had her credit card there. He could start making purchases and sending the stuff to himself on her dime. What if this was a banking site? He could start making transfers and withdrawals, and she would never know. Until she checked her balance, of course. So this, folks, is cross-site scripting, with a little bit of session hijacking thrown in just for fun.